This is A Northern Christmas by Rockwell, Kent, and it's actually an excerpt from a larger work titled Wilderness, a Journal of Quiet Adventure in Alaska. The south coast of the mainland of Alaska is a wilderness of spruce-clad mountains whose outlying, isolated peaks are islands. On one of these we lived, a father and his 8-year son. We lived there in the winter of 1918 and 19, the man in pursuit of his profession, the boy in pursuit of what of education lay in doing things, and both in that pursuit of happiness, which, with whatever right, is still what every living creature wants. They had come a long way, these two, and what they sought they found. If home is where what you desire is, then we'd come home. There in the forest, on a low-lying level fill between two mountain peaks we lived. Our house, a one-room cabin, crudely built of logs and caulked with moss. Our dooryard toward the view, the space we'd cleared by felling trees for fuel. Our view, a crescent cove, the bay, the mountains of the distant shore, the sky, the moon and the stars at night. And for companionship, ourselves, each other, and a genial, wise, and kind old man, old sourdough of early gold rush days, old trapper, lifelong pioneer, a Swede named Olsen. We three, a pair of foxes shut in a corral, a milk goat christened Nanny, an obstreperous Angora goat, one Billy, and some foolishly adoring women of his kind. Otters that now and then sat basking on the rocks, blue jays and gulls and porcupines. It was enough. Of the fullness of the days, fullness of work and thought, of play, of little happenings, of uneventful peace, we kept record. That record is a book. Its name is Wilderness. From Wilderness, these notes about a happy Christmas in the North are drawn. Thursday, December 19th. This day is never to be forgotten. So beautiful, so calm, so still with the earth and every branch and tree muffled in deep, feathery, new-fallen snow. And all day, the softest clouds have drifted lazily over the heaven, shrouding the land here and there in veils of falling snow, while elsewhere, or through the snow itself, the sun shone. Golden shadows, dazzling peaks, fairy tracery of branches against the blue summer sea. It was a day to live, and work could be forgotten. So Rockwell and I explored the woods, at first reverently treading one path so that the snow about us might still lie undisturbed. But soon the cub and the boy broke out, and he rolled in the deepest thickets, shook the trees down upon himself, lay still in the snow for me to cover him completely, washed his face until it was crimson, and wound up with a naked snow bath. I photographed him standing thus in the deep snow at the water's edge with the mountains far off behind him. Then he dried himself at the roaring fire we'd made ready, and felt like a new boy, if that can be imagined. Meanwhile, I searched the woods for a Christmas tree and cut a fair-sized one at last for its top. Christmas is right upon us now. Tonight, the cranberries stew on the stove. Friday, December 20th. The beautiful snow is fast going under the falling rain. With only 5 more days before Christmas, it's probable that we'll have little, if any, snow on the ground then. A snowless Christmas in Alaska. This day was as uneventful as could be. Part of the morning was consumed in putting a new handle into the sledgehammer. It was too dark to paint long, hardly an hour of daylight. These days slip by so easily and with so little accomplished. Only by burning midnight oil can much be done. Sunday, December 22nd. Both yesterday and today it has poured rain. They've not been unpleasant days, however. Occasional let-ups have allowed us to cut wood and get water without inconvenience. Both days I've been occupied with humble, housewifely duties, baking, washing, mending, and now the cabin is adorned with our drying clothes. Here, where water must be carried so far, it is the wet days that are wash days. Darning is a wretched nuisance. We should have socks enough to tide us over our stay here. Last night, after Rockwell had been put to bed, I sat down and did 2 of the best drawings I have made. At 12:30 I finished them, and then to calm my elation a bit for sleep, read in the Odyssey. 10 days from now, it comes due for Olson to go to Seward. If only then we have mild, calm weather. But as yet, we've seen no steamer go to Seward since early in the month. It looks as if the steamship companies had combined to deprive Alaska of its Christmas mail and freight in a policy of making deadlock with the government over the mail contracts intolerable. Meanwhile, instead of serving us, the jaunty little Navy cruisers that summered here in idleness doubtless loaf away the winter months in comfortable southern ports. Monday, December 23rd. Up to this morning, the hard, warm rain continued, and now the stars are all out, and it might be thought a night in the spring. At 8:30, I walked over in sneakers and underwear for a moment's call on Olson, but he had gone to bed. And now, although we'll have no snow, the weather is fair for Christmas. If Olson believes, as he says, that Christmas will pass as any other day, he's quite wrong. The tree waits to be set up, and it will surely be a thing of beauty, blazing with its many candles in this somber log interior. I've given up the idea of dressing Olson as Santa Claus in goat's wool whiskers. Santa Claus without presents would move us to tears. But there are a few little gifts, a pocket knife and a kitchen set of knife, fork, and can opener for Olson, an old broken fountain pen for Rockwell, some sticks of candy, and the dinner. What shall it be? Wait. It is midnight. I've just finished a good drawing. The lamp is about at its accustomed low mark. Yesterday it had to be filled twice. Those nights when without a clock I sat up so late and to so uncertain an hour, I've discovered by the lamp and the clock together to have been really long. My bedtime then was after 2 or 3 o'clock, but I arose later. Today I finished a little picture for Olson, and so did Rockwell. These were forgotten in my list of presents as I've just written it. I've shown my picture, the king of the island himself, striding out to feed the goats, while Billy, rearing on his hind legs, tries to steal the food on the way. Rockwell's picture is of Olson surrounded by all the goats in a more peaceful mood. Olson's cabin is in the background. I wish we had more to give the good old man. At any rate, he dines with us. Christmas Eve. We've cleaned the house, stowed everything away upon shelves and hooks and in corners, moved even my easel aside, decorated the roof timbers with dense hemlock boughs, stowed quantities of wood behind the stove, for there must be no work on that holiday. Now, both Rockwell and I are in a state of suppressed excitement over tomorrow. What a strange thing. Nothing is coming to us. No change in any respect in the routine of our lives, but what we make ourselves. And yet the day looms so large and magnificent before us. I suppose the greatest festivals of our lives are those at which we dance ourselves. You need nothing from outside, not even illusion. Certainly children need to be given scarcely an idea to develop out of it an atmosphere of mystery and expectation as real and thrilling to themselves as if it rested upon true belief. Well, the tree is ready, cut to length with a cross at the foot to stand upon and a cardboard and tinfoil star to hang at its top. And now, as to Christmas weather. This morning, as might just as well have been expected, was overcast. Toward evening, light snow began to fall. It soon turned to rain, and the rain now has settled down to a gentle, even, all night and day pace. Let it snow or rain and grow dark at midday, the better shall be our good Christmas cheer within. This is the true Christmas land. The day should be dark, the house further overshadowed by the woods, tall and black. And there, in the midst of that somber, dreadful gloom, the Christmas tree should blaze in glory, unrivaled by moon or star. Christmas Day on Fox Island. It is mild. The ground is almost bare, and a warm rain falls. First, the Christmas tree, all dripping wet, is brought into the house and set upon its feet. It is 9.5 feet high and just touches the peak of the cabin. There it stands and dries its leaves while Rockwell and I prepare the feast. Both stoves are kept burning, and the open door lets in the cool air. Everything goes beautifully. The wood burns as it should. The oven heats, the kettle boils, the beans stew, the bread browns in the oven just right, and the new pudding sauce foams up as rich and delicious as though, instead of the first, it were the 100th time I'd made it. Now everything is ready. The clock stands at 2:45. Night has about fallen, and lamplight is in the cabin. Run, Rockwell, out of doors, and play a while. Quickly I stow the presents about the tree, hang sticks of candy from it, and light the candles. Rockwell runs for Mr. Olson, and just as they approach, the cabin door opens, and the fairyland is revealed to them. It is wonderful. The interior of the cabin is illuminated as never before, and perhaps no cabin interior ever was among these wild mountains. Then, all amazed and wondering, those two children come in. Who knows which is more entranced? Then Olson and I drink in deep solemnity, a silent toast, and the old man says, "I'd give everything, yes, everything I have in the world, to have your wife here now." The presents are handed out. For Olson, this picture from Rockwell. He thinks it's wonderful. Then, for Rockwell, this book, a surprise from Seward. Next, for Olson, a painting, a kitchen set, and a pocket knife. By this time, he's quite overcome. It's the first Christmas he's ever had. And Rockwell, when he's handed 2 old copies of the Geographic magazine, cries in amazement, "Why, I thought I was to have no presents." But in addition, he gets a pocket knife and the broken fountain pen, and sits on the bed looking at the things as though they were the most wonderful gifts. Dinner is now set upon the table. Olson adjusts his glasses and reads from the formal menu that lies at his place. So we feast and have a jolly good time. It is a true party, and looks like one. Rockwell and I are in clean white shirts. Olson is magnificent in a new flannel shirt and his Sunday trousers and waistcoat. He wears a silk tie with a gold nugget pin. He's shaven and clipped about the ears. How grand he looks. The food is good and plentiful, and the night is long. Only the Christmas candles are short-lived, and we extinguish them to save them for another time. Finally, as the night deepens, Olson leaves us amid mutual expressions of delight in one another's friendship, and Rockwell and I tumble into bed. So ended Christmas on Fox Island. As life had been, so after Christmas it went on. With spring too soon, the time for our enforced departure came. We left Fox Island. Tearfully, on the threshold of the world, I wrote, concluding wilderness. And now at last it is over. Fox Island will soon become in our memories like a dream or vision. A remote experience too wonderful for the full liberty we knew there and the deep peace to be remembered or believed in as a real experience in life. It was for us life as it should be, serene and wholesome, love but no hate, faith without delusionment, the absolute for the toiling hands of man and for his soaring spirit. Olson of the deep experience, strong, brave, generous and gentle like a child, and his island like paradise. Oh, God. And now the world again.